Welcome to A Career That Matters, a podcast brought to you by DC Hopefuls, and I'm your host, Tommy Peavyhouse. Look, I started DC Hopefuls, and I started doing this podcast for a simple reason. I believe that you are meant to have a career of impact. Now, I don't know what that impact is. It could be in a number of areas. It could be in Washington, D.C., it could be abroad, it could be in your local community. You could be in public policy, advocacy, a million different things you could do to have that impact that you were born to make. But you're probably tuning into DC Hopefuls because it's not going the way you wanted. You're stuck writing cover letters, going to awkward networking events, you're just feeling stuck professionally and you don't know how to get unstuck. That was my life for several years, and I swore to myself that if I ever figured out the right way, if I ever learned how it all really works, I would shout it from the mountaintops and share it with everyone. And that's why in 2016, I launched DC Hopefuls to help you avoid all the silly, needless mistakes that I made. So hopefully today's episode can help you through whatever situation you're facing, and it can get you going in the right direction to have that impact that the world needs you to have when you go to work every day. I don't know the right people. I can tell you how many times I've heard from you all saying, Tommy, I get that networking works. I understand that you need real people to vouch for you. I understand the power of relationships. I just don't have them. I don't know the right people. I don't know anyone in my field who could help me. I've never worked in my field. I understand that. I get that. That is maybe the biggest barrier that people need to overcome. But here's the good news. It's really a mental shift first. See, so many of the times we think it's kind of this weird chicken or the egg problem. We think, well, I need to work in my field. I need to get exposed to the right people by working with them every day. The only way to get that job is to already have experience in that field. And so it's like the chicken or the egg. How can I get that experience if the only way to get it is to already have had it so I can be hired to get it? And it makes your head want to explode. And that's why we get so frustrated when we go apply to a job and it says entry level, but it wants 5 years of experience. It says mid-level, but it wants 15 years of experience in that field. And you're thinking, what the heck is going on? And that is why so many people think, I don't know the right people. I've never had that opportunity to meet them. I just don't know them. And I'm going to challenge that in two ways. And the first one is who you define as the right people, which we're actually going to come back to. But right now, I'm going to challenge another point of view is, so who does know the right people? Oh, well, I mean, obviously some people do. It works for them, right? Just not me. But think about that for a minute. Do you think I know the right people in my field? You probably would say, yeah. Tommy, you're good at networking. You built this really good career that you're happy with. Do you think I was born that rainy day in 1980? I'm not going to tell the rest. You think I was just born knowing that? No, you got to go out and you got to put the effort in to meet these people. You have to find a way to meet them and have them become the right people. So this notion, and I know some people, it feels like it was handed to them. Daddy made a big campaign contribution, right? Mom used to work somewhere and now the kid is reaping the benefits. Absolutely. But even in that situation, the kid has to, it may be a huge advantage, but they got to do a little bit, right? They can't be a complete doofus or else that help will eventually run out. And I have met them, trust me. So you know that, right? You know that there is a way to meet them. So the real frustration is you don't know how. How do you go from A to B? How do you go from not knowing the right people to knowing the right people? And that's where I get back to my first point. I want you to redefine right people. You are probably defining the right people as someone in the field you want to be in who's in some sort of position to hire you. Or at minimum, tell the person who could hire you to hire you. And heck yeah, that's a great person, right? We all wish we knew that person. But in reality, the right people in your life are people who are just willing to help you. So you already know the right people. There are people already in your life who would help you if they could. But they feel the same way you do. They think they can't help. Hey, you want to work on Capitol Hill? I love you, cousin, but I sell real estate in Leesburg. So how can I help you through that? My mom would have given anything to help me. She was a school teacher in Arkansas. How was she going to help me get a job at the Pentagon? Right? And so they feel that same way, that they're not the right people. You don't know the right people. We're all stuck. But I want you to change the way you think. I want you to think of those people who love you and want to help you as the right people, because you've already won most of the battle with them. They want to help you. And if you will just position them and go to them in the right way, you can help them help you. And you're thinking, what is this guy talking about? I don't get it. So I'm going to give you a real world example. One of the very first people to ever join Career Investors years and years ago. I didn't ask her permission, so I won't use her name. We'll call her Brittany. Brittany was from a small town in Arkansas. I met her a long time ago, before I even started DC Hopefuls. But when I started Career Investors, she obviously wanted to join. And same thing, she didn't know anybody. She'd only ever lived in this town in Arkansas, went to the University of Arkansas. She didn't have a network, right? And I said, hold on, I think you do. Let's redefine the right people. Let's figure out who already cares about you, who likes you. And I want you to start talking to those folks. So her third person was her aunt. And she's talking to her aunt. She did it kind of the way I would teach. And her aunt said, I would do anything to help you. I don't know anyone. I know you want to move to DC and you want to work in national security, Brittany, but how the heck am I going to help you do that? But, our neighbor was in the military his whole career. He's now retired. Seems like a nice guy. We've gotten to know him pretty well. I don't know a lot about his career, but let me ask him. Next thing you know, it turns out that this guy who's next door had worked in DC for years, had been in intelligence, had this really amazing career. And just so happened that he had retired in Fort Smith, Arkansas. So, next thing you know, Brittany, the niece, is on the phone with the neighbor, and the neighbor couldn't be more helpful because, hey, he felt flattered. It was nice to talk to someone young, and he really liked his neighbors. And he thought it was such an opportunity to help their niece, and that would just, how great would that feel for him? Every day when he sees them walking to his car, out, taking a walk, he can wave, and he can be the guy that helped their niece. It made him feel good. So suddenly, by talking to her aunt, who became the right person, who put her in touch with someone who could really help. Now, he was retired. He was out of the game, but he made introductions to people he still knew, people who respected him and liked him, and said, hey, I want you to talk to this young lady. She's worth helping. And amazing, incredible things happened. And actually, Brittany got her first job through her roommate in college. She went to her roommate and said, hey, I don't know what to do. How are you going to get a job after college? I want to move to DC. I want to do this. I want to do that. And her roommate said, hey, I don't have the first clue, but I want to help you. My sister lives in DC. Why don't I connect you all? So the sister was happy to do it. Oh my God, it's my little sister's roommate. Of course, I'm going to help her. She got to know Brittany. And sure enough, she was at a happy hour a few weeks later. They were talking about how they needed some junior people. She was able to help Brittany get a job in DC. Wasn't in her field necessarily, but she had started building those relationships that she had met through her aunt's neighbor. So she moved up here, got some work experience while she nurtured those relationships more in her field. And her life has completely taken off. She's had incredible jobs in national security. Now she's doing something super cool that I don't even know if I can talk about, so I won't. Her career blows my mind. She has accomplished so much more at a younger age than I had, and it blows my mind because she just quickly realized that the right people right now are the people who want to help. And they can lead you to other people who can become more right people for you. So it's not a deal breaker if you don't know it now, right? You have to see that people connect you to people who connect you to people. And so the right person at any point in your life is someone who's actually willing to help you. And so the reverse could be true. If you know someone who's in your field in a position to hire you, and they're a jerk, they don't even respond to your emails, and they're not willing to talk to you, they're not the right person. I don't care how much power or positioning they have. If they don't have a connection to you, or they're just not feeling it, they're not the right person. I would always rather have someone who likes me and wants to help me in a different field versus knowing someone in my field who could care less about me. Now, the ultimate goal is to bring those two together. Get people in your field who like you, care about you. But you got to start with the first one first. So don't sell yourself short. Don't give up before you get started. There is a way to do it. And too many of you all, and I did this too, so don't feel bad, you want to skip. You don't want to do that work in the middle of talking to those people who don't make sense yet. So you go to a networking event because everyone there, in theory, should work in your field, but then you falls flat. You message strangers on LinkedIn, you want to cut the line. You want to just go straight to that person who's in your field, but they're never going to be the right person because they're never going to be invested in you enough to do what they need to do. Because you are ultimately going to need someone to say, hey, I know he probably doesn't have the experience we want, but let's give him a chance. That takes some guts. That takes some real investment. You're not going to do that through a stranger. You're going to have to build it through real existing relationships so people can feel like you're worth sticking their neck out for. By helping you, they're helping people they know. You're strengthening their existing relationships by helping you. And there's a lot of trust built in. So quit trying to skip the line. Quit trying to go to events and message complete strangers, and start with the people you know and love. Those are the right people now that will get you to the right people later. I thought this was going to take a lot longer. It only took me 9 minutes to explain this. I'm pretty proud of myself. Hopefully this is helpful. And if you're thinking, okay, Tommy, I get it in concept, but I don't even know where to get started. I need a plan. I need a strategy. I need some coaching. I don't know what to do now that I've watched this video. That's why I want you to click the link below. Check out Career Investors. As many of you know, Career Investors is my private group. It's where I've created all these incredible modules, 18 to 19 modules ranging from 30 to 45 minutes long each. I walk you through the whole process. We'll start by making an incredible resume that I will personally review. That's great for networking. We're going to analyze your existing network, nurture them, put them in the right slot, and start building and growing a new network out of that, and get people really invested in you to the point they are proactively helping you. And then you're going to land that job that you want, or you're just going to advance where you're at right now. If that's the goal, you're going to accomplish that. And then I'm going to teach you how that cycle can repeat itself. And then we're going to transition to the next set of videos, which is all about thriving in that new job while also nurturing that outside network so you can become this known commodity in your field. And all along the way, you're going to be able to book as many coaching calls with me as you want that are on the calendar. You know, I have a job and a family, so it's not unlimited. But if you want to at least book a call a week, you are able to do that. You get access to the group, our Zoom calls, our roster, our resume bank. It's an incredible resource that is cheaper than LinkedIn Premium. It is 90 to 95% cheaper than any coaching service or all these crazy things people are trying to sell nowadays. It's significantly cheaper than hiring a resume writer, which doesn't work. I'll make a lesson on that one day. It's an amazing resource. It's incredibly affordable because I want to make it accessible to people who are going to go have an impact with their career. So if that's you, if this is hitting home, you want to go build that network so you can finally start having the career you want. So this time next year, you'll be completely thriving and comfortable in that job you've always wanted. Or if you're happy in your job, but you want to just build your network and become more of a known commodity in your field, I want you to click the link below and see what we got going on. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.